then you get a picture like, okay, these people are money heads and
No, but I mean,
people and
Yeah, this
to
is
be
the
honest,
picture you get now.
to be honest, a big part of it is also like
But you got like this now.
it got very capitalist and money driven area, you know, and the people and also the industry and the way of living is like this. And people are rich, very rich here, but still very, you know, you have like rich areas and rich areas. You will see the rich areas that are like the old money, you know, that you will see this aristocratic stuff and so on, and you will see the big money, industry money, yes. And sometimes I feel also, you know, because I have a different point of view than Hannes, because I come from a different culture, you lose a lot of quality, life quality, because you're industry and money driven. And this is something that I wish it will change a bit in the future.
Because many things which, as you said before, what else do you need? Many things like this get lost because people, in a way, because of the possibilities they have with the money they have, they lose the focus and the real point of what's actually most important.
Right.
I mean, what does it help? Of course, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to such a nice car, and it's impressive technique, and of course.
But you can't eat it.
What I mean, for me, compared to a fantastic vegetable garden, I would never change it. I mean, it sounds stupid to many people, but
it's
this
not
gives
only
you so much pleasure in any way. It's so beautiful,
You will
or a
see- you
beautiful
will have-
vineyard to work it and to live with it in a way and do it for 10, 20, 30, maybe all your life. If you see the old guys that are going to the vineyards every day till they're 90, almost dying in the vineyards, they all seem super happy because it
Of
just
course, they have a
slows you
red
down.
nose and a big belly.
Yeah, they take some wine with it and they drink
But-
it in the vineyard or in the evening, and they know this is what I produced. Even maybe if it's not super tasty, it doesn't matter, but it makes them happy and it makes them proud.
And you know, automatically by adapting this kind of philosophy, you don't complain. You have so many people here, they complain for small stuff.
Right.
For, the train is again 5 minutes late. Hey, are you kidding me?
Now I have one
What-
day off and it's raining, damn it.
So what, you know, they complain, because if you hear them complaining, all you need to say is like, "Wow, you have a really high quality of life to complain only about these things," you know.
But then your standard is up higher. Your
Super high,
expectations
super
are-
high. That's the thing.
I mean, on the other hand, we're super happy and lucky that we're living in such a period and we don't have any problems, we don't have war, we don't have
Exactly.
hunger.
You never have to worry about
Don't get
what
us
you
wrong, I mean,
Exactly.
we're not complaining,
Yeah.
but it's just a little bit sad sometimes.
You lose the
that,
focus sometimes. And,
kind of. But it's also when we drove through Stuttgart through this area, like I saw these big houses and with really no garden at all. That's what we usually
or
see.
just stones, just
stones,
gravel.
Yeah, exactly. Where we mow and no garden, no maybe some flowers to show the neighbors, and you know two big cars.
Yes.
Right.
No
A big
garden,
garage.
big garage, and
This
a
is
lot
what
of
mine-
electricity which you have to produce. Maybe some solar powers, yes. But then after all, really what you have is the money what you earn at a factory or at an agency or wherever you work, and then you buy a newer stuff, and then you put more stuff into this little place what you own. But then actually what your ancestors had for thousands of years, you really lost it.
And you don't have the time to spend the money that you earn.
To give you an
Also-
example, which fits pretty well, here in this village where we're sitting right now, 20 years ago, as a foreigner, it was impossible to rent or to buy a vineyard. They wouldn't just give it to you because you're a foreigner and no.
Yeah.
You
I
had to
mean,
come from
you
Milhouse
own
and
it,
have relatives in Milhouse.
Your family works it, and for whatever reason, this might not be possible, you give it to your neighbor. This is the first person to ask. And now you can see just over there, you have one vineyard, and just around the corner there is more, which is not worked anymore at all. You get this kind of for free. So if you go to the person and say, "Can I work your vineyard?" He says like, "Yeah, please do it."
I don't need
just
any
take
money,
care
just
of it.
somebody works it.
20 years ago.
Yes.
So you see, I mean, it's not important anymore. We have a lot of people here who are idealists who do it for fun because they have good jobs. They don't have to do it, but they love it because they grew up. Their parents and grandparents were working the vineyards. They just like it, you know. But there is no need at all. They just do it for fun. It's a hobby, so they have a little tractor. They're all very good at mechanics, so they build many things by themselves and they love it, but it's just for fun. So if for whatever reason the company says, listen, you have to work more, or the husband, the wife, whatever partner says, listen, I don't like this that you go there all the time. I want to go on vacation all of June, which is impossible when you have a vineyard. It's gone. They sell it, they give it, they rent it, it's done. And generations before, there was no question. This is the vineyard. You were proud to work with vineyard. I mean, they were much more looking to your neighbor because everything was not so global, and they said like, the neighbor just like worked the soil all the time. We have to do it today because how does it look? Not all of this was good, anyways, but it's a huge development lately, which is a bit sad in a way.
Or undevelopment.
Or undevelopment, change.
Wild bees, eh?
It's full of wild bees, I know.
And they're full of pollen.
But I also saw it in, we have like a little house in next to Lemberger. And when I was like, I'm 27 years old, but I remember like 20 years ago, kind of, all our neighbors had vineyards, or at least a garden, or some fruit trees, or.
But in Hungary, this is typical. Huh? It used to be.
Well, it used to be, but it's declining. And like all the people had a little something, you know, just to grow, or at least a lot of flowers, who were like a flower crazy woman, kind of, because he had
Paprika.
Also a lot of paprika, or something. But now, if you go there, they have more like a pool. They have, they replant, they dig out the soil and they put a new soil in it to have a nicer looking grass, which looks nicer.
Which comes from a company.
Exactly, right? But then
From China.
yeah, exactly, maybe. But then actually after 2 years, the old soil or the old grass will grow.
Of course, nature comes back, and whatever you do, we will not.
Exactly.
We will never gain over nature.
True.
Never.
Forget it. If you work places like this in soils, you will realize after a while. I mean, you can try to do an impact for a certain time, but when you're gone, somebody else has to take it over, or it will take it over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you have to understand this, otherwise you go crazy. There's always going to be work. I mean, it just keeps growing, and this is very good.
And you would always see it as a battle. You have to work against it if you think that way. But if you can work with it and help it and nurture it, as you said, maybe, then you also have a better feeling, I think.
You have to work with it, not against it. This is one of the most important things. But I have to say that in our younger generation, there are, not all of them of course, but there are people who have a more, let's say, green mind. They reflect.
Well, it is also our generation. It is the fashion of the generation to be green.
Yes.
I mean,
and
which
I
is
have
good.
hope. I have hope in this actually.
A lot is fake, or like superficial.
Yes, but it's true.
a
But
lot is
still,
also
I mean,
very
if they
good.
reduce waste, if they start to grow their own vegetables, even if it's just like 3 tomato
At least even
plants
they
on
buy
the
only
balcony,
organic, you know, or from local
it's
shops.
great.
It's a huge difference.
It's great. Yeah. If they prefer to go on vacation by bicycle, fantastic.
Even the whole e-bikes that are, it's an amazing it's an amazing development, you know. You see so many people biking, or like older people and so on. It's perfect. Instead of driving a cabrio, they have e-bikes.
And because of Corona, you actually see how many people there are.
Yes.
Yeah, true. Okay. So can we taste the?
It's on.
It's still on.
Yeah.
Is it straight? Is it?
Yeah, it's straight.
Okay. So we are tasting the.
We're tasting Lemberger Endschleife 2017. The Endschleife is our is always the, well, maybe a coincidence, maybe not. It's the oldest vineyards that we have. Okay. It's more or less 2-3 little pieces. They are between 45 and about 50 years old, more or less. And they produce just fantastic fruit grapes, which are super tasty.
From the beginning, they had a different aroma
You
than
just
the other ones.
saw it that they're different, and then when before harvest, what we do, we taste a lot the grapes, a lot, and you could just see from the beginning that there's a huge difference.
So we had to vinify them
Yes.
separately. It was just another aroma.
And I mean, in the, let's say, in the winemaking, what we do with the Enschleife is a difference to the normal Lemberger. So we get the grapes from the vineyard, whole bunches, and we put them in a big bin, and we stump them with bare feet.
With the stems,
for
we
a
don't
few
use them.
hours, for 2 to 3 hours. So this is actually fun. So you put on music, you take a few beers, because it's
Give a
hard work.
beer.
It's fun. I mean, you start to stump the grapes, and everybody's like, ha ha ha. Half an hour, 45
They get
minutes,
more
and then you
serious.
say, oh man, this is really exhausting. So my feet are starting
And they
to
start
ache.
more. It has
So
to
you
be
have
a
to
soup.
give a kind of motivation, and beer works fantastically. So this is what we do, which is we extract a lot at the beginning, while there is no alcohol around.
Or
So
heat.
it's just juice.
It's mechanical extraction.
Yeah. But slowly, because it's bare feet, it's no metal, nothing. It's no crushing, no edges, nothing. So what we do, we make a big bowl of soup in a way.
Like the Portuguese, you know,
Okay,
in
yeah,
Douro
It's
they
the
do it
Portuguese
also.
style, with the stems inside, everything. The next day we stump them again, and usually the second, third day they start to ferment, and then we press it. We
So
just put
completely
it in
the
the basket
paradox
press.
of the normal vinification of the reds.
It's dark, it has fantastic color, that's what I mentioned before. And we put it in a barrel, or 2 barrels, whatever, and then it ferments as juice, and same process like the other ones. When
Stays there.
fermentation is done, we just fill the barrel to make it completely full, and it stays there for one
Bit
and a
longer,
half
1.5
years.
years. Not moved
Not-
at all.
Not moved, just topped up from time to time.
So it's a
Um,
complete different
approach, yeah.
vinification approach
Yeah.
from the ones, the classic reds, we leave them and we don't extract, and they have their time and so on. And this one, we decided to do the completely opposite, like the paradox of it, because the aroma was so special of the grapes, and we said we have to keep this primary aroma, and to keep it is to take all of it while they're still fresh, while they don't have the alcohol and the heat influence in it. Because by the time you have heat, or by the time you have alcohol, you have also the secondary aromas or the secondary structure.
Which
you
you
know.
want many times.
You want many times, but we said we have to keep this, you know, this like peppery and cherry
Kind of
and
white pepper flavors in it.
so we tried it. We had kind of this vinification. We had it in Austria a bit, but
I
with
was
different-
working at Moor van der Niepoort. Now it's called Weingut Dolly Moor, which is a great experience, and they do it with their
In
Spitzenberg,
Karlsruhe.
with their Spitzenberg wine, and it was a great expression. So we tried to adapt this to do this here, and we like it. It's nice.
It worked. I mean, because you do have this aroma that you have in the grapes.
Yeah.
You have, as you see, enough color. I mean, this the
Well,
only
colours.
2 days
For
skin
Lemberger,
contact,
it's
but
never
it's.
a problem. There's amazing.
But you
colours.
have to know, in the beginning, the first year that we did it, we were, well, actually, we're not afraid at all, but we pressed it and we put it in the barrel, and for 6 months, for the whole autumn and winter, it was so reductive. It was so stinky because
Not crazy, but you had the feeling it's a bit.
it's
pissed.
not, yes,
You know, it's kind of like, why did you separate me from my grapes so fast? And it's a bit annoyed in a way. But
it was
it's
not there,
perfectly-
you know, it was not.
And I had the experience from Austria. It has to be like this. Yeah. So Dirk told me at the beginning, no worries. You will freak out at the beginning because you have the feeling it stinks. But it has to be like this. It's just normal.
And it goes away.
Yeah. But
In
this
the
is what
spring,
it gives
but
kind of.
hard.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It vanished immediately,
Yeah,
and
it's very
it
interesting.
showed its fruit and everything. It was amazing. The very first year we were like sweating, so shit, we are best grapes and so on. I mean, as I said, Hans said, like, it has to be like this, but still you're not sure if you haven't tried it with your own grapes before.
It's such a funny feeling at the beginning. It's like a baby. I mean, we will have one soon, but I don't know it so far. But it's really exciting. It's so exciting, and you're kind of, oh my god, we lost it. We fucked it up. No, it has to be like this, and even more, even better when it turns out well. And what we love about it, it's smooth. Yeah. But it has a
depth.
It has a depth, and it has an interesting tannin structure that you don't get from wines that you ferment on the skins for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. How would you describe it? The tannin. How is it different?
It's can you say animating? How do you say?
Yes, or savory.
Yeah.
Or...
yeah.
Do you know? Have you? Of course, you have tasted wines from really sandy soils.
Yeah.
That you have like from in the northern Loire.
Yeah.
Almost in the ocean and so on. You have this kind of tannins. They're maybe a bit spiky, but not back there in the first.
They're
part
not
of your
strong
mouth.
tannins. They're not tiring and annoying at all. Mm-hmm. They're actually pushing it a bit. So they make you kind of wanna drink it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Savory probably.
But it's so interesting that you said Loire, because I would have probably not recognized it as a Blaufränkisch, as a Lemberger, but I would have said like maybe Cabernet Franc.
Many people say that.
Yeah, Cabernet Franc.
Many people
say and Gamay.
And Gamay.
Some people
but
say
Gamay not from the classic Beaujolais,
no,
Gamay from the Massif Central, you know.
Exactly, yeah. But because it's still very delicate and it's a very elegant wine, but it has this. I always get sometimes in a Loire Cabernet Franc in this this red meaty aroma, but really like a pinch of it. It's like
an edgy type.
Yeah, and also like the proteins would be different. Like it's a very strange feeling, and this red aromatic, not violet aroma, but almost this purpury or this kind of red aromatic kind of thing what's going on, and this wine have it, and I don't really get this. Actually, not too much Roterfaden in this wine, not too much pepper, but really a lot of fruits, and more black fruits than the Pinot Noir had. So more of this almost juniper or blackberry, this kind of thing, but almost on the white side. So really it's alive. So you can feel. I think you can feel it that it's very developing. It's not changing the wine actually. Yeah. Also the nose. Beautiful. And also low alcohol probably, or?
Say again?
Also low alcohol probably, right?
A bit.
This has about 12.
Yes, but the 17, the 18 has also not much.
About 11, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Very beautiful. Where do you see this wine in the kitchen maybe? What would you eat with it? Or what do you usually eat besides the sheep cheese and the...
Well, it goes very well with different mushroom plates, very well, and it goes also very well with
pizza.
Pizza or doner or
good pizza.
No, but you know coppa.
No.
Coppa is a kind of speck.
Okay.
But not. It doesn't have so much fat. It has more meat.
More like jamon serrano.
Yes. So this would be very good with it. I think so. Probably like all the cold dishes, dinner stuff, the appetizers and so on.
Antipasti thing.
Yes. But I think if not, you would definitely need some mushroomy like risotto probably, or the intensive ones, or maybe some deer fillet. Not the very heavy ones, but the elegant part of the meat,
Like a nice cut.
Yes. Yes, and also quite rare, Sil Rosa, and so. I think that would go good with it.
That's not a bad thought, yeah.
Oh, the roost to start with. We call him Malakas.
What is that?
It's the Greek word for
asshole.
Okay.
Because he's really.
But they use this word like permanently all the time.
But there's a rooster in the village. He's really
nuts.
crazy. He's really nuts. I think he has really psychological problems.
He shouts for hours all the
no matter
time.
the weather, no matter the time of the day. He just shouts, the whole time. It's really irritating.
Maybe he likes it. Can you see? Anyway.
And maybe just to talk about natural wine a little bit. What's your approach about this, and do you think it's a good, well, I suppose you think it's a good movement or good direction, but do you think it's good to call your wine as a natural wine maybe, or what's your take on that? It should be fashionable, or it's a good
Listen,
brand?
I mean, if somebody calls our wines or us as natural winemakers, we don't complain. Because we understand and it makes sense. But we never
Call ourselves
call
natural
ourselves
winemakers.
natural winemakers, because it's maybe a coincidence, but for us it makes just sense to make wines like this, because we believe it gives the best result. Little bird. Yeah, and the natural wine movement, I think it's great. It's very important.
Also for the knowledge for the people, you
Yes,
know?
it's for sure fantastic
For
thing.
the consciousness to realize.
Of course, like in all movements, some people go extreme, and I don't know if this is super necessary. It's important that it exists, like everything. I don't know if this will keep on very long. I mean, if you have failures in your wines and it starts like smells like nail polish extremely,
It smells really
I don't.
funky
For me,
or
it's
tastes
not.
really
For me,
funky.
it does. It's not fun. Okay, some people like it because the more crazy it is, the better it is. Okay,
Or the more
but
provocative maybe.
I don't know how sustainable this is going to be.
But it's very
it's
good
okay.
for the people, for the wine drinkers, because through natural and thanks to natural wine, I would say trend maybe, or movement, people understood what you can add, all the possibilities that you might have to make wine, and what is actually real wine and what is not, because they didn't know it. And I think there's still a lot of people that don't know how chemical wine can be. But still, through natural wine, people understood, okay,
The difference.
and there is a bit more awareness, and there is a bit more knowledge, and I think this is very important. But, you know, as everywhere, I mean, it's also with fashion, you will always have the good and the bad examples, and you will always have the extremes. And we both don't like when a wine is volatile, we don't like when a wine has mice. You know, it just doesn't have to be. I mean, I still want to enjoy my wine, and don't enjoy my wine if it has, in the end, this mice flavor, you know. But, okay, if people make it and they can sell this wine, and there are people enjoying it, fair enough, you know, it's...
Yeah, and you know, so I have some colleagues, so to say, but I'm not gonna name them. They say, okay, yeah, that's a trend. Like the rosé had like kind of some good years in the recent years, and in this decade, and then it's gonna go away. But I think it's not gonna go away because it was always there. So my great grandfather made wine like this. So everybody made wine like this before
My
the
grandfather
50s.
did.
There are some wines that will go away.
Yeah.
The ones that are superficial, you know, the ones that are made only because people like it now.
Yeah.
They will go away. I think it's okay.
No, but it's also a good example that we have one good friend. Actually, he's our importer in Austria. He has a great selection of. It's a small cab, and he has a great selection of Italian wine. But I believe almost everything is what we call now natural.
Yeah.
But it's most of the wineries, they do it since decades. For them, it's just normal.
And so on.
So it's
Which
not
we
kind of
must say,
hipster people.
thanks to this movement,
They
they
do
are
it.
glad because they got
40
more
years.
reputation, you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
nobody knew them, and now everybody admires them and so on. And this is also in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Now
Slovenia.
Georgia is the
Slovenia.
superstar,
Yeah.
and they used to work like this for decades, and
Exactly. Yeah.
you know,
Hundreds of
centuries
years,
actually. It's perfect for them.
Yeah.
It's fine for them.
So I agree with you because it was always there,
Yeah.
but it was not recognized
Exactly.
as, or it never had a
label,
name on
yes.
top. It was just a supernatural, normal way of making wine. So, yeah. I mean, back in the days there were no products to help. I mean, we have to admit that just quality-wise nowadays we have the most or the highest quality in wine ever.
Standard, yes,
Ever,
definitely.
for sure.
Definitely.
Because in former times there was a lot of not clean, let's call it maybe not good wine. People were drinking it because it was there, but probably was really not good. There
Yeah,
were
it was
failures, it was
oxidated
sour, whatever. So nowadays it's a great development, and this is due to the science and the research centers, absolutely. But of course you can exaggerate and you can add and you do the whatever.
Standardize it.
And you lose spirit. You lose individual soul. So yeah, it's very important, this movement.
And also maybe in the old days they never thought that a wine can taste that good, because maybe they just drank wine from their village, maybe from the next one, but they never tasted the Barolo. A good Barolo.
True.
They never tasted I don't know, one of the best producers from the Zango. Okay, Riesling could also taste like this.
Yeah.
But now you can also go to even a supermarket, and if you have 15 euros you can buy good wine.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's much easier, but then on the other hand it's wine shouldn't be standardized, so
No.